Hey everybody, it is the Irregulars. It's Tom Alexander, Matt Posner, my partner. And you remember that show, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? It's sort of like that here, because we're like, where are we? We move around from place to place each week. And so we're in the same digs as we were last week, where you saw the keyboards and the drums and everything. That's just in another room just across the way. We're making our way, right,
We're
Matt?
making our way. This is going to be the podcast room.
This will be.
This will be. And there'll be a couple of cameras that'll be stationed, behind us.
Right.
And then what we'll do is we'll either have like a little desk here that we'll sit at, and there'll be a control room on the other side. So we're getting there. Things are starting to progress little by little, and just making it happen. So,
yeah. I know that the band is moving the gear from that room over there to this room here.
This room here.
And then so we're just trying to make it all happen. And so here we are, and this is the temporary digs, part B, I guess you could say.
Part B, yes.
Yeah, but anyway, so lots going on in the sports world, in the pop culture world. We like to talk about every week. And Matt, obviously here we are, NBA playoffs, lots going on, and we'll see where things pan out. We're obviously in the first round.
Yep.
And not a ton of surprises.
Well, not too many surprises. I think Milwaukee is giving the Raptors everything that they can handle, and I think there's some matchup issues there for the Raptors going against the Bucks, and so that could be a little bit of a problem there. Look, the game in Cleveland last night really took control of that series.
Yeah.
Down by 25 at the half.
Yeah.
And LeBron was the only one that got to shoot in the second half, pretty much. And in the fourth quarter, there was only one other player that took a shot. For the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
So LeBron is really, I think, at this point, trying to dispel all the talk about him being tired and worn out, and
maybe
not,
a little old,
and really not the go-to guy. That he has his 3 championships now.
Right.
Michael's 6 is probably not going to happen.
Right.
That's not going to. He's not going to get there. So will he go down?
The thing though with Michael, obviously not taking anything away from his greatness, but he had all the pieces around him earlier than LeBron had all the pieces around.
Sure, but look, Michael also had some early injury problems when he first came into the league. And there were some questions about his durability when he first arrived in Chicago. And look what happened there.
Right,
so it's hard to say. Look, Golden State's in control of that series. The series that I'm really watching now that really has my interest peaked. And I love the way they came out last night and really rallied around their coach, and that is the Memphis Grizzlies. And it's a great story. Fizdale was coaching here with Spoelstra and the Miami Heat. Was here during that whole time with LeBron and Bosh and Wade. So this is a young coach, very sought after young coach, and I love the fact that he really he didn't just call out the officiating the other night. He really called out the NBA, and it's critical to hear what he's saying. Is that Greg Popovich, is old school, and he's been around, and I'm the rook, and I love the fact what he said is we're not going to get rooked, and I like that, and I love the way the players rallied, and I think sometimes in a series like this you have to be careful when you awaken somebody, and I think the Memphis Grizzlies are this team that is now awake, and they're going to try and really make sure that they
send a message.
And the Spurs, I think, could be in trouble here.
No doubt. Quickly, just want to shift gears for 1 second on you. A story closer to home here in South Florida. The Marlins, with the new potential ownership going on, and Derek, I almost said Craig, Derek Jeter and his group. So could that be a good thing for the Marlins?
Well, look, you have Derek Jeter. He statistically and all that he did for baseball. I don't know that you can. And baseball is one of those really hard sports to say greatest of all time.
Right.
But for his time that he played, he was the greatest of his time. You know, and
no
what he did for the game, what he did for New York. So having Donnie Baseball and Derek Jeter on the same team, looking to win a World Series. You know, Mattingly never got to win the World Series as a player.
That's right.
And he didn't win one as a manager yet. So bringing Jeter in, a guy that had won the World Series, and look, multiple times, and so you have a New York feel with New York as you at the helm.
Yeah, you know
South Florida is Southern New York.
Well, they call it the sixth borough, right?
Sixth borough, and you go to Boca Raton, and it's everybody from Long Island.
That's true.
I think it's anytime
it's a Long Island.
Anytime you can get a guy like Jeff Luria out, you know, he's been bad for baseball. And look, people say he's a nice guy, and he did some good things, and he was great during the Jose Fernandez thing. But there is such a bad taste for Jeff Luria and Sampson in this town in South Florida that it really is time for a change. And I think with a guy like Jeter coming in, number one, he's got to change up the logo. The logo that's Jeff Luria's artistic BS. I hate the Miami Marlins logo.
I never liked it.
It's garbage.
The home run structure, that's got to go.
That's got to go.
That's got
to go.
No, look, listen, you know what? Yeah, you said, hey, maybe a nice guy, may do certain, aesthetic things, maybe a little unusual and maybe somewhat artistically. But as a baseball guy, for the sport of baseball, it's been a disaster. I mean, everything from, I know he didn't start the cheerleaders. That was a couple administrations ahead of him. But still, I always say about the Marlins, and it's not a personal attack on the players or anything like that. I love the fact that there's baseball in South Florida. But for me personally, I've always felt that.
But if it wasn't here, you wouldn't care.
If it was, but if it was, every instinct they have is the wrong one.
Wait, hold on a second. I want to back up, because right now, I just want to say this. This team, position by position, is one of the most solid teams in baseball.
No, I'm not talking about the play. That's what I mean.
Take Luria out of it. One of the things that I like what he's done is he's got Hill as his president. He's got some good people. You hire Don Mattingly as your manager, and most people looked at it like, why would Donnie Baseball want to come to South Florida? But I thought it was a great decision for him to come down here. And now, you've got Dave Righetti as his bench coach. So, I mean...
you're really going New York.
You're really going New York here.
And if Jeter does take
over, now you have...
Now it's
it's the South Bronx. All over again, essentially the South Bronx.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's the Trinity of New York, basically.
So I think, look, I could be, and I went to the game the other night. Okay, I went to the Saturday night game, Mets Marlins. And I sat in right field, and we actually had a great time. It was Michelle and Benjamin and myself. And the minute that the Mets went ahead, I Facebooked, breaking news, Marlins moving to Las Vegas. Just to stir something up. Then Stanton hits the home run to put the Marlins ahead, and then I said, breaking news. The player formerly known as Mike saves the Marlins from moving to Las Vegas. Somebody's going to move to Las Vegas. There's a baseball team that's going to move to Las Vegas.
I think it's going to be the Oakland A's.
You think
because
so?
They still don't have a deal for the stadium, and will they follow suit of their brethren, the Raiders?
You never know. How many people would move to Las Vegas?
This would be I think a record fourth move. It would be a third move for the A's, because they started in Philly, and they went to Kansas City, then they went to Oakland. Now the third move would be to Vegas. I've heard rumblings about them moving to Vegas. The Padres too. Because, now, and then San Diego would be teamless.
Yeah, but the Padres have a brand new park.
They do have a brand new park. That doesn't mean that they couldn't bring another team in, but, who knows? I mean, you're hearing about, but Vegas is going to be a four-sport team.
Oh, eventually, yeah.
They've got hockey and
the Golden
football
Knights.
now, and then basketball has to be next.
And talking about hockey, a couple of series came to conclusion last night. The Nashville Predators, they just destroyed the Blackhawks.
I didn't see that.
Oh my God!
Really?
4-0. The Blackhawks only scored 3 goals in the whole series. So there's so many different things that happened there. The goalie had 2 assists for the Predators, which that was more than any Blackhawk player had in points. And then the defending champion Pittsburgh Penguins are moving on.
Yep.
And they closed out their series against
How the Flyers
Columbus.
doing? Flyers, how they doing?
They're at home golfing
and
enjoying their summer break.
Yeah, just like all the Philly teams.
Yeah. So we have to talk about this because I think it's people are talking about it, and there's different motives and different things that people are saying about the whole Aaron Hernandez thing.
Yeah.
It really is tragic, and people are trying to grab onto it and what happened.
It's amazing how quickly the tasteless jokes pop up.
See, bad.
And the camera showed that he didn't get both feet down.
Right.
Those kinds of things. And here's just terrible.
I'm even smirking.
Yeah, but it's terrible. I mean, I would never say something like that.
No, you wouldn't.
But I'm never.
Repeat it.
I would repeat it.
Right,
but I would merely
yourself.
quote. Right, a really tasteless bad joke just for news purposes.
Sure.
But I would never endorse.
Never.
A particular. Although
why would you do that?
No, I wouldn't do that. I'm not that kind of. But again, it was both. Cameron didn't get both. He didn't get both feet down.
Right.
But the thing is.
But you just repeated it though.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, I'm reporting the news.
Okay, got it.
I'm reporting the news.
Okay,
it's a quote. It's not. I'm not sitting here. It's hilarious.
Right.
Although it isn't. Too terrible. But let me just say that with people that you could I guess he gets a pass because he technically did murder somebody. So people are not as shame on somebody that So your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts, a couple of things. So it's funny because people are like, well, he blew a kiss to his daughter. He had just been acquitted. Yeah. He was under appeal on the Odin Lloyd conviction.
Right. That's right.
So, people are saying, like, well, how did he hang himself in prison? Because they're only supposed to have 200 thread count sheets.
Right, that would break.
Right. That people don't realize that, but the sheet count is that if they do try, it won't, a 240-pound man, that sheet's supposed to just rip in half.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one thing that somebody raised an interesting point about.
Including his lawyer, I think.
Right. So, and I know that the investigation is still ongoing.
Yeah.
Now, somebody else brought this to my attention, and I don't know if it is true, and I didn't fact check it, but it's just still an interesting point, that supposedly in the state of Massachusetts, that when you're going for an appeal and you die, then that conviction no longer stands, that original conviction.
Oh, really?
So now, here's the kicker on it. So that if that original conviction didn't stand, he wouldn't have then broken his moral ethics paragraph in his Patriots contract. Therefore, there's $15 million left on that contract that his baby girl could get.
Wow.
Now, I didn't fact check this, but just the fact that somebody brought that up, that if that is the case, that would be a motivation
for him to
have done this.
Yeah. Well, there are certain people saying foul play here too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just for the fact that you brought up the 200 thread, the whole bit.
Yeah.
So did somebody set that up? Like, did they kill him and make it look like he hung himself?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too. Look, I mean, the 2 guys that he got acquitted for, those guys were not altar boys. These were not.
Oh yeah, no.
These were thugs too, for the most part.
Right.
So who knows who they had on the inside?
Right.
You just never know.
No, you don't know. It's a movie's in the works.
Oh, of course, in the works. They have 3 movies for this guy. I mean, his Florida days, what he did at University of Florida, his professional days, and now this. So.
Speaking of movies,
yes,
we should talk about real quickly that you and I.
Yes.
And of course, a very significant third party.
Yes.
Is involved in the well, we're in the screenplay stage.
Yes.
Of the process right now. A very cool idea, which we're not going to divulge.
No, we're not going to divulge.
But we could say that it's a crime drama. We could say that, but I use that term loosely because it's a very innovative.
Oh my God! It is so innovative.
Yeah.
What's going to capture people is that this is a fresh take on something.
And a little bit of predicting the future.
Yes.
We could say that.
We can.
And we can also say that we're pretty confident we haven't seen this before.
No, you haven't seen this before.
So we'll leave it at that. A little taste, a little whet the appetite.
Yeah.
And then we'll, as time goes on, we'll maybe divulge a few more.
I think, once we get the final thing done and it's into a couple of people's hands and...
Yeah, then maybe
we'll tease it.
Do a little release. Maybe do a release on Hollywood Reporter or Variety and those kinds of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah, because
they're waiting for us.
They are waiting for us.
I know they are.
Yeah. So anyway,
what's happening? Let's say
a little Designated Survivor.
Yeah,
and The Voice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Designated Survivor got really. I gotta say, it rebounded this week.
Really?
Yeah, it really.
You needed that.
I needed it because the last 3 shows...
Because you were almost out.
I was definitely starting to wonder, had I made an emotional investment that is not going to pay off. But they rebounded this past week with, cliffhanger supreme. They really set it up. And next week's show on Wednesday should be pretty interesting. Very interesting. And I'm not sure if it's going to be the last episode or not, but it feels like it could be.
So you're only getting 7 shows.
Well, these seasons are so short now.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember when we grew
12
up
shows, 16 shows.
Try 25, 6 shows a season. You'd watch we need a MASH and all in the Family. They were 26, 27 episodes every year.
Yeah.
Now it's 8 a season.
Yeah, you're lucky.
It's crazy. The Voice.
Oh, The Voice a little disappointing this week. The live shows happened and
no blood, no.
A couple of people got sent home that maybe shouldn't have got sent home. It was a little bit shocking on a couple of things, but kind of winding down. They're down to the final 12 now. So I'm trying to look at different things to watch.
Yeah. Are you a fan of it's the Netflix show with Kevin Spacey?
No.
You don't watch the?
I don't even know the name of it. I know there's a show that he has.
Help me out, guys. What's the name of the show with Kevin Spacey? House of Cards.
Oh, I've heard about it, but I've never.
You haven't watched it?
No.
It's pretty compelling.
I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, you should give that a spin. But you see, the thing is, though, you really kind of have to. You're going to have to go back and binge watch the first couple
not
of
a binge watcher,
seasons.
though. That's the only thing.
Right now, my wife is binge watching West Wing.
See, I love that binge watching. That's like a new term that people have.
Yeah, it just really within the last few years, right?
You couldn't do that years ago. What were you binge watching?
Yeah, no.
Rewind the VHS tape.
Yeah,
you're binge watching.
No, no one's going to do that.
No one's doing that.
No one's getting up,
right,
and pulling out a VHS and putting in another one.
No,
that's not. Yeah, that's too much work, man. That is just forget about it. But no, people they're binge watching, and so like I said, my wife Gwen is.
No, she's binge eating too as she watches.
No. Listen, she's doing great.
Good.
She's
getting
on a
shape,
super health. Oh man, forget it. I got no shot.
She's looking for a younger guy, huh?
Well, since we married, she's been looking for a younger guy. So But anyway, on that note, on that self-deprecating, salutation, I guess we can say goodbye. Have a great week. Next week we'll be in another place. We'll be somewhere in this building.
We'll be in this building.
But not right here.
Not right here.
We'll be somewhere else.
Yeah, we'll be showing off the back studio.
Is that what we'll be?
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll do that.
All right, cool. That's great.
All right. Thanks to Trent for
absolutely
operating the Facebook for us. And special guest, Derek.
All right, Derek. Thanks, Derek, for hanging out here. And, of course, Trent. And we are the Irregulars. He's Matt Posner. I'm Tom Alexander. Have a safe, have a fun, have a great weekend. See everybody. Bye-bye.